Hey guys, welcome to my channel where I fall victim to anything Netflix has recommended me. This video is about the Twin Flames, Escaping Twin Flames documentary, and I do not shy away from a tell-all documentary. I actually love them, but this one was a little boring for some reason, and you'll know once I start getting into it. But let's just jump into it. If I'm looking off to the side, that's because I have extensive notes here with literally everything that happened. So it starts with Jeff and Shalea Ion. They are the leaders of this MLM type cult type self-help group, I guess you could say. It starts with them just telling how much wealth they have and just bragging for no reason in this video. Now it says Jeff was a former business student. He went to college for business, came out and just wanted to start a cult. He literally changed his name online and starts going into how he's going to get people to follow him, has all these prototype businesses before he gets to Twin Flames universe. And then Shalea, whose real name is Megan, of all things, changes it to be more spiritual. She does tarot card readings, and she's the one who kind of brought him into what eventually was all of this, the spiritual aspect of everything. They have what is called Twin Flame Universe and Twin Flame Ascension School. Twin Flame is basically your ultimate lover. The definition is like your soulmate, the top tier person who you have such a connection with that it's on both sides. You get the gist. It's basically that. Everyone has a twin flame. It does not have to be someone who you are currently dating or have ever dated, just someone you have interacted with on any level, which is wild, and that's how a lot of people have gotten in trouble with this group. I'll go through all the people just either as they come up or as I decide to talk about them. The first people we meet are the family of one of the victims, and it's her twin sister. So you keep seeing her face pop up, and you're like, is that her? Is that her sister? So Paula, and I'll put people's faces right here. Paula is the one who's diehard. I'm telling the police, gathering all the evidence, what happened to my sister type, and her mom is also there as well. Her mom eventually becomes friends with other moms from the group who have lost their children to this cult. But her sister is Stephanie, and Stephanie was in the Peace Corps, meets this man, not dating, but just had this very intense reaction to him, and then Googles, why did I have this reaction to this stranger? Finds Twin Flame, and it all goes downhill from there. She eventually finds out about soul families, which is something Jeff and Shalea really push, that you have a new family with everybody in the Twin Flame universe. So basically dump your old family, which is a cult technique. She sends her mom and sister this horrific letter just saying, I'm done with you. Hello? Sends her family this horrific letter saying, I'm done with you, I'm safe, you've been abusive to me, you don't know what I'm going through, don't contact me, never look me up, and blocks them on literally every thing that she could block them on. They haven't seen her or heard from her in years, which is the case for many of these people. But then we go into Keely. Keely met her guy at a grocery store. They were working together and he just happened to be nice to her, date for a little bit, and he said, you know what, I'm not into this, I don't want commitment, and she's so heartbroken that she moves. Then she eventually finds, this is all a Facebook group, a Facebook forum, and she looks on there, finds Twin Flames, starts talking to Jeff and realizes, oh, that's my twin flame, Colby, the one I met at the grocery store. Let me get back with him. Sends him some of the books that Jeff writes and all the articles and YouTube videos, because they put everything online. And then he starts getting a spiritual connection and they get back together. Within 2 months of dating, they get married, move in, and she starts quickly rising in the ranks of the Twins Flame universe because she was a poster child for what worked and a harmonious union. They have a fundraiser for, oh, this is our first harmonious union. We're so happy for you. We're going to give you all this money so y'all can find a house together. And Jeff, Ayan, the leader of all of this, dictates what she buys with it, what curtains, what rugs, what she can actually do, tells her what to post online, how to praise him online, and he's really kind of very controlling over everything. But since she's one of the first harmonious unions, she's quickly rising up. She has more power than anyone in this documentary because she eventually gets told, you have what everybody wants, you should become a coach. As a coach, she said she received about $60 per coaching session, but she has like 15, 20 clients, and I don't know if it said how often they're getting coached. But Keely's sister, Marley, 18 years old, is brought in by her sister because she's having so much success in all this. She's like, hey, let's get my sister on board. What can she do? 18, Marley, bless her heart, she's crying in almost every single clip. And she made it clear that she did not go to find a soulmate, just kind of to do some self-healing and what she wants to find out about herself. Okay, I'm taking my hair down because my head hurts. Okay. Marley eventually joins all the meetings, goes to everything, has not found a twin flame, but what they have is a calling session. I think it's called a calling session, a call in, where only Jeff and Shalea have these connections to the powers that be. So they call in your twin flame, and anyone who has reached out to you within a certain period is ultimately your twin flame. They do that for Marley, and this creepy 11 years her senior criminal who is on house arrest and probation reaches out to her via Facebook, sends her the lyrics of a song, which I didn't bother looking up what song it was, and Jeff's like, oh, that's it, that's your twin flame, that creepy guy that you want nothing to do with, that's him. Let's make that happen.
How's it feel to have it all?
Feels, yeah, just, I'm very grateful that I'm able to have everything that I've ever wanted.
They tell us a little bit about Shanice. Not much. She was the only Black person I saw in the documentary, but her twin flame was supposedly her ex, and he was now having a baby with someone else. He's married to someone else, and they're still telling her, like, that's your twin flame, just go after it, just try your hardest. Don't have much to say about her, especially in the first episode. Meanwhile, we're going back and forth between Kobe and Keely, this couple right here. Her relationship starts becoming a little like abusive and obviously not what she wanted because she doesn't know this man. But also, he feels entitled to her body because as a twin flame, and Jeff will tell you this, that you are entitled to as much sex as you want, and he promised that to her husband once they got married. So her husband will try to like force himself on her, and there's this one clip where Jeff is saying how he forced himself on Shalea and how that's his right as her twin flame. Elle met a guy, had a good relationship, and then eventually gets into a car crash where she is partially paralyzed or all the way paralyzed, something. She had a spinal injury, horrific tragedy, and then gets dumped by this man, heartbroken. She's also a scientist, but she said she looked into more like spiritual stuff just because, you're questioning like, why did this happen? Finds Jeff, twins flame universe, and they tell her, that's still your twin flame. Don't mind that he was totally horrible to you, dumped you once you just go after him, anything you want. She's texting him every day, she's calling him every day. Mind you, him, the twin flame, they don't show his face, but he is recording everything. He's telling her to leave me alone. He gets a restraining order against her, which was, eventually we find out that's not uncommon, that a lot of these people have restraining orders because they're told to pursue things so intensely. She gets a restraining order and then goes out to this club for her birthday. She's partying, she's dancing. Who's over there? My ex. What's he gonna do? call the police because I violated my restraining order. She gets put into jail. She's cut off her family at this point. Jeff is obviously not going to help her, so she spends the whole time in jail doing what they call mirroring exercises. This is a big thing within this 3-episode series, is to mirror. So you'll say a statement like, "My husband doesn't respect me," and you'll have to reflect that back on yourself and say, "I don't respect myself," or "Jeff hurt me because he hates me." And you mirror back and say, "I hurt me because I hate myself." So she spends the whole time in jail doing mirroring exercises and trying to calm down from all these panic attacks, and spends about a month there before she finally gives in and calls her mom and her parents because they had no connection over this whole time. They were cut off. And then eventually, when she gets out of jail, in the Zoom call that we see with her and Jeff and obviously all these other people, and he's trying to get her to admit that she did it on purpose because she swears that she was just there and he happened to be there, live in the same town, it's gonna happen. But Jeff is like, "I didn't make you do anything. You went there because you are such a strong spiritual person. You just subconsciously thought of it, and that had nothing to do with me. You did it, right? You're a stalker, right?" And just kind of like pushing until obviously she gives in.
Why was Elle gone for like a month or six months or whatever? She tried to stalk her twin flame or whatever the heck happened.
No, actually, we showed up in the same place again, and he kind of freaked out.
You accidentally happened to go dancing at the same place where he was?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the truth, Elle? Or is this the story you tell yourself?
No, that's the truth.
Are
I mean,
you certain?
it's not that I was trying to cause it
I'm
to.
asking you questions. You're still talking over me. That doesn't really help you in class.
That's her story. Later on in the documentary, she does still have passwords to everything. So she goes in and kind of messes with the social media a little bit and then becomes a DJ because that's what she wants to do. But her story's done. We're kind of done with her. So according to Jeff and Shalea, and they put up all these YouTube videos, but you are either divine masculine or divine feminine. That has nothing to do with your gender, nothing to do with your body. It has everything to do with what they mean pretty much Jeff, decide that you are. So your twin flame can be another woman. That doesn't make you gay, but one of you is divine masculine. And then he starts telling these people, "You're divine masculine. You need to act like it. Change your name, change your pronouns." People start being forced or coerced into transitioning into having top surgery. Literally all this stuff. One more person we meet is Angie, right here. Angie had a quick relationship with someone. I think it was someone she worked with. I can't remember. So she's pursuing this relationship with this guy, and eventually she's like, "I'm just gonna send it." So she kisses him, and the relationship is instantly over. He is like, "You're like my sister. This doesn't feel right. We don't have a connection anymore." She's boohooing and she turns to twin flames, of course. So during this, Jeff is telling her, "Well,
his sexuality, he's not gay. He's not even meant to be with another man, you know. You're his twin flame. He's supposed to be with a woman, a feminine woman."
They said that my twin flame is feminine acting because I was taking his masculinity energy away from him.
Your twin flame does not feel comfortable being masculine because you're taking too much of the masculine energy in this relationship. You are divine feminine." She starts changing how she's dressing. She's wearing dresses, she's wearing makeup, she grows her hair longer, and just trying to pursue him by being more divine feminine. None of this is working, obviously. Jeff and Shalea have this big calling ceremony where they find pairings of twin flames. They send it out to all the coaches, and they say, some of these people are divine feminine, divine masculine. We already talked about that. But it's a lot of same-sex couples because now, at this point in the journey of twin flames, you can only be matched with someone who is also in the organization. No more, "Oh, my ex-boyfriend," or "Oh, my ex-husband," or "I met this guy at the grocery store." It's only people who are in the organization. So he's sending out, "Hey, these are all of the twin flames. Do with this list accordingly," and sends it to the coaches. Keely is coached to Angie. Angie is on the list as having a twin flame who was not the original person they told her was her twin flame. Scratch that. We made a mistake and we are not owning up to it. You now have a new twin flame, so you can stay in the organization. Your new twin flame is Victoria. Neither of them identify as gay, lesbian, anything, pansexual, none of that. And they're being told, well, Keely is telling her that you are actually divine masculine and you need to do with that accordingly. Remember, cut your hair, change your name, transition if you have to. You are divine masculine, and that's what I'm telling you, so that's what it is.
First, you accept that you're truly a man inside.
It had become a form of conversion therapy.
The fact that you have a vagina and you're a man inside, the vagina is truly an illusion. Dissolve the illusion and recognize that you're actually a man, and recognize that you already have a penis.
I was constantly looking for signs that this was true. Because I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it.
The whole time that most of the transgender things are happening, there's another, I'm guessing, reporter or something who's on screen being interviewed talking about the transgender experience and how Jeff and Shalea are actually diminishing all the progress and forcing identities onto people. Because we hear from Angie, of course, but there are multiple people who we see video clips from, YouTube videos, because they're encouraged to post their experiences and post how happy they are, who have done top surgery, who have cut off their families because they didn't agree with them. We hear from a few of the moms who their daughters are now their sons because they have transitioned, and their reasoning behind that was, my twin flame is divine feminine and I know I'm transgender now because Jeff told me. So it's a whole thing with them not actually feeling it, but them being convinced that you are masculine. Angie accepts this, but her twin flame Victoria does not, and she says, actually no, actually I like guys. Actually, you have been tricking me this whole time. I've given you too much power. I'm out. She leaves, but Angie's still there. She's trying. She's trucking along. Once they say they're taking a portion of their earnings, a bigger portion of their earnings, she slowly starts kind of putting down the cup with the Kool-Aid in it and saying, wait a minute, you tricked me. So she eventually gets out, and she has this deep-rooted animosity towards Keely, and a lot of people do, because Keely was the one who was directly telling them, change your sex, buy this coaching thing, reach out to this person. She was right under Jeff. She was one of their coaches, so they all have this deep-rooted kind of hatred for her. And Keely has been told that she will be the CEO of the company, and that they are turning it into a religion for tax purposes, so that way they do not have to pay people certain salaries and they can get tax breaks. But while this is happening, they're having Ascension School, and Ascension School basically comes with a guarantee that you will find your twin flame. And they also bring in map sessions, which, my fault, I didn't write down what that was, but it's this random military person who's doing these psychological trainings with you, I guess, to figure out what's the deep root of your problem. Mind you, she's not trained in anything psychological. No one in this organization is. They're just really BSing. They are doing so many of these map sessions and these mirroring sessions and this coaching. It's kind of this repeating pattern that you are paying. Who they go into one individual who, trigger warning, but she has been reaching out to Jeff, really pursuing of this twin flame university type thing. She's having all of these issues and depression and anxiety. She is being told just to do map sessions, look into what that real trauma is, do it with these people that they have, do the mirroring exercises, all this stuff. And obviously they're not helping her because they're not trained. They don't know what they're talking about. It's a big Ponzi scheme. But she ends up taking her own life. And then it's all spun in the organization as if she was just too weak to do the mirroring and that she didn't follow the correct steps, and just kind of having no tact at all as far as this poor individual's death. Another form of income that they have is doing divine dish, which is a meal plan service that Jeff came up with, saying you need to be your best self, and to do that you need to eat the following foods. They are pretty much all carb based, and they cost $100 a month to do this, $222 a month for your coaching sessions and for your classes. Back to Divine Dish. It's all carbs, $100 a month. You have to buy this. You have to eat all of your stuff, which according to Jeff, you have to eat everything. Since it is all carbs, all bread and pastas and stuff, it leads these women to gain pounds on pounds on pounds, have health issues, and be told, just mirror it. You're doing fine, sweetie. Just mirror it. Mind you, this whole time that we're hearing about all of the things that Jeff is doing, we're also seeing Zoom calls, video calls, coaching calls of him just being very confrontational with everyone, yelling at them, calling them rats, yelling at Shalea, which is his partner and his wife, just being just a completely horrible person this whole time. I may include a clip of him just going off on someone and then letting them know it's your fault because they are questioning their God. Which, if you remember, back when he said, I'm turning this into a religion, he decided, well, I am the second coming of Jesus. So I'm your God, and how dare you defy me?
I pulled up a recent image of myself and put it next to that image of, the supposed Jesus. And it's the same person. Those images were images of me. Not a Jewish guy from Israel, but a Euro guy with blue eyes and brown hair. The image of, the Christ was actually me, the second coming, not Jesus, the first coming.
And just starts yelling, starts cussing at people, and it really rubs some people the wrong way because they didn't come there for a religious experience. They didn't come there to find the second coming of Jesus. They just came to find their soulmate. But this whole thing, I'm making it sound more interesting than it is. It's not, honestly. There's a reporter on screen because she's getting the stories from everyone. Jeff makes people do a 5-page essay or something stupid like that. Essay on how he is not a cult leader, like this article said. And then while they're doing that, they realize, while Keely is doing that, she realizes, oh, but you are a cult leader, you snide devil, you are a cult leader. And she tries to leave. She gets with Colby, and we need to get Marley, her sister. They go get her, and she is kind of distraught because everything she's been doing for years, mind you, this is years going on, has been a lie. And her sister has been the head of this lie because she brought her in, told her all this stuff was amazing and good. She ends up being with this horrible person who she doesn't like, she's totally creeped out by him. She's being pressured by Jeff. She's also the marketing director. She's really entwined in this cult. You brought me into this, and you're the reason for my trauma. And they never talk again. Like, after they get out, they never talk again. I don't know how many years it's been, but are sisters, but they never talk anymore. Oh my gosh, I forgot like the biggest thing in these episodes. There's also been a property purchased, Michigan, where Jeff and Shalea live. It's about to be this large living area where 300 people can live and be very close to him and be under his influence. And then we go back to Keely, where she's trying to cope with the trauma that she endured, that she put other people through, and making amends with them because she doesn't know if they'll ever accept that she was just doing what she thought was right. The last thing I forgot to mention is the golden child era of all this. So Jeff and Shalea are a married couple. They have been saying they're having a little baby girl for the longest, as long as people can remember, named Grace. Then they start going through fertility treatments, I believe. They get pregnant with their golden child, the golden child will be able to already be ascended. She will need no sexual partners. The only person she is permitted to have sex with is God, which was confusing to me because I'm like, didn't you tell us that you're God? So she having sex with you, but I don't think it was there at that point. Basically, the big thing is that she's already ascended, and that's what golden children, they're already in like this higher plane. Eventually, they have to terminate the pregnancy, but they're still trying, and they're letting everyone know that they too can have a golden child. But it needs to be with someone else, obviously, in the organization, someone that we deem as your twin flame. There is a criteria list on if you are allowed to have a golden child, and if you can't naturally conceive yourself, then I, being Jeff, will tell you who you can conceive with and who you can have that child with. And a golden child is a twin flame to another golden child. So they're slowly building up a population amongst themselves by procreating within the group. I think that's everything. I want to say that's everything besides the fact that the twin moved to like Switzerland to be with her twin flame. They met the first time when they moved there and then got married. And she still hasn't talked to her family. I think that's the only thing that I didn't mention. But overall, 3 episodes, about an hour long each. It wasn't really what I thought it was going to be. I probably made it sound a lot more interesting than it was just because I was cutting everything short, but it's so drawn out, it's so long that the second watch around to make these notes, I was 1.5 speed and then skip because they're not talking about anything. And that's no disrespect to the people who are going through this. I know that's very traumatizing for people. I don't think I would be ever susceptible to a cult, but I never know. No one's ever tried. Try to put me in a cult. Let's see. But overall, I'm looking through my notes, and either I wasn't taking very good notes or that is actually everything. So I wouldn't recommend it, but if you are really big into that genre of documentary, maybe you'll like it. I did hear that there's another version on Amazon Plus or Amazon Prime. This was the one I watched was on Netflix, but Amazon Prime has one, and I did see on Reddit that Shalea's dad is in it, and he kind of has a viewpoint and thinks that she was actually the mastermind. And I didn't go too far deep into the Reddit, but I don't have Prime right now, so I haven't seen that one, so I don't know if it's better or worse, not sure. But I am still on the journey of whatever Netflix recommends me that I will eventually watch. If you have recommendations, let me know if you want me to watch something so that way you don't have to. Leave this video a like if you liked it. If you want to see more recap type videos, just let me know. Put down in the comment section if you've seen this and if I just completely missed something and that's why I'm not really liking it a lot or why I thought it was boring. Maybe I missed something, let me know. Subscribe because that really helps with the algorithm and the channel and boosting my numbers. But overall, I will just see you in the next video. Bye.